This is the P90, typically considered one of the worst guns in Tarkov, but after the most recent patch has seen a huge spike in power. Question is, with these changes, is it actually worth running now? Today, I'll be answering that by testing out 3 builds, the ultra budget, the loud, and meta. But before we jump into that, let's talk about its base stat. As you may or may not know, it starts off with a whopping 78 Ergo, has 45 vertical recoil, and it's about 900 RPM right off rip. Not bad to start off. Now there are 2 simple ways to actually get the P90. The first is just buy from Peacekeeper level 3 for about 700 USD. The other one, and the quicker option, is just to do a barter for Peacekeeper on lower to level 2 for 2 military carriers. This is going to be the soonest iteration of when you can actually get your hands on it. This is the one I usually start with since they're usually easy to find. Now let's start with how most of you are actually going to run this. The out-the-box barter from Peacekeeper level 2 costs 2 military carriers, and you've got a ready-to-go P90. Just throw on a basic sight and that's it. Now on paper, you're about 63 Ergo, 46 vertical recoil, and about 900 RPM. But what that actually means in a fight, this thing snaps up fast, and once you start firing, it's incredibly easy to keep on target. You're not melting bosses with this though. But for under 90k, this is one of the better early to mid-wipe SMGs you're gonna run now. And the biggest reason? The reload nerf. This used to be at a crazy plus 75%, but now it's down all the way to plus 15%. That alone makes this gun way more viable in extended fights. Now even without holding your breath, the grouping is still tight. Add a laser and hipfire becomes insanely reliable in close quarters. This is where the P90 starts to show its real potential. But if you really want to start packing a punch, you need to invest some money into it, and this is how we get the loud version. If you don't want to get deleted like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're pushing for 5k this year. Now, once you start putting some money into it, this thing gets a lot more interest. If you got some extra cash, this is where you can start leaning into what the P90 does best. And we're pushing Ergo here. With just a barrel and butt pad swap, you jump to around 80 Ergo with slightly reduced recoil. Now, this might not sound too crazy, but in practice, this thing is actually pretty snappy. This is the build I'd run on factory after dying to something stupid. You know, that shotgun scav in the bushes on customs. Just pure, cheap, angry meta. Now here's the key to mastering it I've noticed. You don't have to fight the recoil. You just control the breaking point. Once you learn how far to go down, the gun basically locks in place. But when that clicks, this thing turns into a laser. And yeah, not like that stormtrooper aim, this one actually hits its target. I recommend this when you're doing a lot of close quarters, and it doesn't really matter if people are gonna hear you because they're gonna see you anyway. Now obviously the drawback is that it is loud and people are gonna hear you. But maybe you don't want to be heard from 18 million clicks away and get bombarded by everyone and their mother. That's where the meta build comes in. Let's go ahead and take this one step further and we'll make it quiet. P90 is always simple. This is where it becomes dangerous. For the meta version, you really don't need much. Throw on a tunator and you're good. And yeah, Whisper Quiet might be pushing it, but compared to the loud build, it is a huge difference. And here's the real advantage. People don't expect it yet. P90 has been ignored for so long that most players aren't ready for it, especially early wipe, so they don't know what it sounds like typically. And with how accessible this build is becoming, you're probably going to start seeing a lot more of these in the seasonal wipes upcoming. Now, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if factory turns to a 4-stack P90s and just a bloody nightmare. I'll keep this simple for you folks in the back there. If you're running the P90, use the SS190. If you don't have it, use SS191. That's it. Everything else just ignore. SS190 can handle level 4. Not perfectly, but enough if you're hitting your shots, especially for the helmet. And with this fire rate, headshots are very realistic. Now if you really want to be annoying, run R37F and go full leg meta. At 900 RPM, you will delete legs before most players can even react, especially if you catch them off guard. So where does this really leave the P90 now? Now, it's not meta, but it's a lot closer than people think. It's cheap, easy to control, and after the changes, it actually holds up in fights now. Play it right. This thing will win you more fights than you expect. And if you want to see how it stacks up directly against something like the new mod.4, that's coming up next. So then, stay sharp, and I'll catch you howling for the next one.